Hi, I'm Dr. Jared Hill with Hill Family Chiropractic, and I just want to share with you a couple things that's been on my mind. I don't know if you're aware, but seems like there's just more and more sickness and people getting run down and more stresses and the environmental changes, and there's a lot of things happening, and basically colds and flus and things like that are up. And a lot of times we're told this message, kind of like in society, that tells us that it's all due to bad genes, maybe bad germs, or maybe even bad luck. And unfortunately, we're deceived in this way. And there's a lot of things we can do to help take personal responsibility and protect ourselves on having a stronger immune system, a higher capacity level to adapt to all the different changes, whether it's stresses in our lives, some things that we can't control, some things we can, and but also environmental changes, just like toxins in the air and foods we eat or water we drink, and then even the cold and then hot and cold and hot. I mean, multiple different things that go on and can put stress on our body. But the key issue is when I look around, it's heavy on my heart seeing so many people that are getting run down and sick, and then they're having to miss work, and they're the stress that involves with not being able to take care of their kids as well, or lower productivity in their work environment. Then they have to use, instead of vacation days and having fun, they end up using them to try to lay in bed and recover and be sick and run down. And then that creates more stresses for the family. And then, of course, just the pain of going through it. Nobody likes that. And then you have, even when your kids get sick, and then the burden that feels, and then it kind of goes through the whole family sometimes because of that whole process. And my goal is, I'd love to see more and more families really be able to resist that more this year in 2019. I'd really love to see you guys skip the flu and cold season altogether. And right now, on the average, I was looking up the CDC, and it shows that on the average about 2 to 4 colds and flus for the average person a year, meaning like average person has about 2 to 4 colds or flu each year. And there's about 200,000 people hospitalized from complications from those. And then there's 36,000 that are dying from the complications. And then that estimates about $10.4 billion a year from direct medical expenses. And of course, it's not about the numbers, but it's just about the sadness of that doesn't have to be that way. And so there's several key things that I think that most people are unaware of that really wear us down and lowers our capacity level to where we are not resisting the bacteria and the viruses that we're around on a regular basis. And so we actually have a workshop coming up in our office, and it's February 18th. It's at 6 p.m. in our office here at Hill Family Chiropractic. And but a couple key strategies that, if you think about like your car, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation before. When you went out to start your car, everything seemed to be fine. When you left, you went out to start your car and it wouldn't start. And then you were stuck or you're stranded, and then it caused a lot of stress. Well, that sometimes our health can be like that. Everything seems to be totally fine, and then all of a sudden we wake up one day and we're feeling really horrible, or we get really down and sick. And what happens is sometimes there can be, let's say, a child in the back that turns the interior light on, and it could be on and not even be aware of it. And then over the days or the weeks, it's wearing down your battery, and then you go out to start your car one time and you can't go. And unfortunately, our health, kind of like a battery, can get drained with things in our lives that we're not even aware that's draining it, that we may be blinded by. We're going along just thinking everything is fine, and these things of how we live our lives, whether it's how we move or what we're putting in our body, environments that we're around, or some structural aspects. You know, if our spine, our nervous system is being interfered with, then it lowers our capacity level to heal and repair and weakens our immune system. And there's a direct correlation with those stresses in our lives and how it wears us down and lowers our capacity level. And one of the biggest things is our mindset, how we're dealing and adapting to stress in life on a daily basis. Unfortunately, that creates a lot of stress on our spine. And we've got to have coping ways to maintain a healthy structure and nervous system, and then otherwise also how to better take care of ourselves, live our lives and the lifestyle the way we're designed and created. Otherwise, it wears us down, and we ultimately suffer for that. And we have a lot of patients that are sick, to like just the community, families and friends, close friends that are just worn down and sick. And I hate to see that burden on so many families that can be completely prevented. And so we're going to be going over some key strategies at the workshop. I hope that you guys can make it. There's a limited amount of seating, so I'd love to see whoever can make it there. Otherwise, a couple key strategies. Just be thinking about how you're supposed to move, what you're supposed to put in your body, how we're supposed to think. Those all have an impact on your nervous system, which ultimately drives and directs and controls your immune system. And of course, structurally, our postures, how we move, all those elements we just talked about impacts our spine. And if that is having an imbalance, then it has a direct impact of our health too. So from all the neuroscience journals and scientific immunology journals, it all talks about how your autonomic nervous system controls and coordinates everything. And as you can see, your spine is protecting that nervous system. We need to make sure that's working at 100% to help boost and protect you from the environment, help you be more adaptive. But hopefully this gives you a couple key tips. And if you want more information, of course, we got the workshop coming up. Just remember, you are stronger, healthier, and happier with Hill Family Chiropractic.